Hey y'all. So what did you think? You thought I forgot about my own podcast? Well, I did. I actually did forget about it. So that's why I thought I would film one today with zero preparation. So it's gonna be a story time. I'm gonna tell you about this odd occurrence that happened. Well, it's not too odd. So this was a couple months ago. In case you're new here, howdy. My family and I, my parents and I have rescued animals for absolute years. Probably more than 20 years we've rescued animals. But recently it's gotten way out of hand. 2014, 2016 was the absolute worst because these neighbors just moved and they dumped their cats out. And those cats made many cats. So my mom and I mostly took care of it with the help of my dad too. Financially wise, it was quite expensive, but also it takes up a lot of time, but we got it under control, right? We got all the animals rescued. My point being, it is once again out of hand this year. We've had multiple kittens. We were able to give away 2 kittens, but right now we have a bunch more that we're probably gonna go drop off tomorrow to get adopted, which it's always difficult on me. But my point being, we were at the vet a couple months ago. It was not a happy time. Whenever I go to the vet, it's always something bad. It was a sad day. I cried a lot. I won't go into detail though. But when I was at the vet, we were there for absolute hours because this vet that is near us, for one, they're not good at all. I'm just gonna say it. The new staff, like the new vet tech, he's very friendly, and so is one of the girls. But overall, the doctor's not good. The veterinarian, it's unfortunate, but they're the closest ones, so we go to them for emergencies. So I was in the vet parking lot most of this time because, in case you're new here, howdy, 2021 was very difficult for me health-wise. It's a whole ordeal. So I'm not doing the greatest health-wise still. So I stayed in the car. So I was literally in the car this whole time. It was a cool morning because this was a couple months ago. So I was in the car the whole time. I stayed in the driver's seat the whole time. And here comes this couple, right? This girl, she must have been like 33 to 35 with her husband, I assume. They have like a box. They have a puppy in there. He's not doing the best. But this girl, I say girl, but it's more technically a woman. But see, that's the problem though. I'm no longer a young adult. I'm like an old adult. But I see myself as a girl. I see other people around my age like a girl, but in reality, they're adults. But I'm just going to say girl for the sake of it. She was pregnant. And she looked so put together, like my goodness, she looked confident, poised, independent woman, you know what I mean? Like she looked like everything I hope to aspire to be one day, because here's the thing with me. I'm going to be vulnerable here. I'm going to be open and honest with you. I don't think I'm ever going to look like a woman. Adult. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm going to look like a girl. And then I'm going to immediately look like a grandma. There's not going to be a between. I don't think I'm ever going to look like an adult, right? Like a normal, 35-year-old. I'm not 35, by the way. But, I'm never going to look like that normal 35-year-old, working woman or maybe a mom. I don't think I'm ever going to look like that. I'm Benjamin Button. I'm aging in reverse, okay? So, anyway, she looked perfect, right? She had her hair, in that stylish now with the clip and everything. And for starters, I thought she was white, just saying, but no, she's Cuban, as I found out later on. But she looked so well put together. She was wearing this gray shirt and leggings. Anyways, it was maternity clothes, but she looked so well put together. And she was talking with her husband there, and they waited outside because it was so crowded inside. And she wasn't wearing a mask. That was the only thing that caught me off. She wasn't wearing a mask, and we were in the midst of the pandemic during this time when masks were still required. She's pregnant. And she's not protecting herself. So that was the only thing. But the way she talked, because she talked on the phone a couple of times. Wow, the confidence. This lady, you could have told her to stand in front of a crowd. Bring on a band or something. She can talk to millions of people with no fear. That's what she looked like. So it just got me thinking, I was like, my goodness. I'm over here, frail, pale, weak. Just not thriving at all. For the age I am, I feel like I'm not thriving at all. This has been a complete rut I've been in because of all my issues I had last year. She reminds me so much of 90s women in movies. In Liar Liar. Sorry, I've only ever watched Jim Carrey movies. In Liar Liar, Max's mom, for instance, she just looks like a 90s icon. You know what I'm saying? I soon found out she was Hispanic because she spoke English and Spanish, but she had that Cuban accent. So she seemed so well put together and everything. And then she started, her eyes were itching and they couldn't figure out what to do because her hands weren't clean because they were in the vet and outside. They were sitting on this bench right outside the vet so I could see, I could directly see everything that was going on. It was like a TV show. Anyways, her eye was itching. She starts trying to scratch it with her shirt. Then he tried scratching it with his shirt. It didn't work. So she just kept like closing her eye because it was bothering her, right? So then I was listening to music, whatnot, you know, my classic rock, dad rock station. I was listening to it. And then I forgot about them and everything. And then I glance over and I see blood on her shirt. I thought I need to say something. Like, I need to get out of the car and tell them. Like, let me put my mask on and go tell them. But then she noticed and she thought it was her eye. I thought it was her eye too. I was like, her eye is bleeding. She realized it was her nose. So her nose is bleeding. It will not stop bleeding. And I was just like, oh my God, like, she's pregnant and her nose is bleeding. And so she gets up and she like rushes in right to the vet. And she doesn't come out for quite a long time. And she finally comes out and she's like bleeding. And it's so weird because just over the span of like 10 minutes, this lady started disheveling in front of my very own eyes. Like, she was not put together at all. But then finally they called them in, right, so they could get their checkup. It was so crowded. It was a Saturday. She goes in, then she comes out like running to her car. And then she starts, I see like, man, this makes me seem so nosy. I'm so into other people's business. But she starts like, you know, pinching her finger, testing her blood sugar, and she seems like so distraught. And I'm like, 30 minutes ago I thought this was the perfect woman. I mean, I don't want to put it like that, like she's like not perfect because she has health issues, but what I'm trying to get at is that I just saw her as being perfect, you know. And you really shouldn't see people like that because you don't know what's really going on inside of them, you know what I'm saying, like, or in their lives. And what I mean is she handled it so well, the whole issue with her puppy as well, when she was explaining it and everything. Like, and then my mom told me she spoke with her because my mom saw her nose bleeding, and my mom, being my mom, very much like me, has to tell everybody every home remedy we know because we know a lot of them because we're hypochondriacs. But my mom told her how to cure the nosebleed and stuff like that. She tells my mom that she wasn't wearing a mask because my mom was concerned. In addition to the pandemic and everything, in the vet, for one, there's fur flying everywhere in general. Like, and she's here with no mask on, but she told my mom that she couldn't breathe. Like, I felt so bad. Like, she was like, she's having asthma issues. She can't breathe with a mask on. She can't breathe in general. She said her nose is bleeding all the time, and it's twins. She's expecting twins. She told my mom all this, by the way. That's why I know it. I just couldn't believe it. Like, I was just flabbergasted. I don't even know how to express how I felt. Like, that's why I keep thinking you can't judge a book by its cover. Like, you never know. But I wasn't judging. I was admiring. I was like, wow, like, those are goals. Like, that's what I want to look like when, like, for my pregnancy one day. Like, so assertive and confident and healthy. And then all that happened. Dude, the same thing happened one time. We were at the Social Security offices because my Social Security number got stolen. And there was this girl. She looked great, okay? And she passed out, okay? Because we were outside in the sun and we had to wait in line for like 2 hours before you could go into the admin offices. This was before the pandemic. And yeah, this girl just like literally flat out passed out. My mom would like gave her first aid and whatnot because, once again, my mom is like a super mom. She can do literally anything. Like, it just makes you think, you know? Like, you know, they always say don't compare yourself to other people because you don't know what they're going through. Every person is fighting their own battle. And it's true, you know, it just happened in front of my eyes. So I thought I would share that story because it's been on the mind for all these months. I was just talking to my mom about it earlier today, so that's why I thought I would bring it up. I hope she's doing okay, though. She probably lives in this area. I hope everything went well with pregnancy. Turns out she had other kids, too. So I hope she's doing well. Also, I just hope that the puppy is doing okay in general. But my goodness, I hope you enjoy this story time. I have so many other stories I could tell from just random occurrences that have happened. This is just a bit of food for thought, you know? Like, I want you to realize, like, be yourself. Don't ever compare yourself to anyone. But as always, with my podcast, how about the songs that are currently stuck in my head? These are the songs that are currently stuck in my head. I'm still in the dang Zeppelin phase. First off, this song, it has been stuck in my head. I didn't really like it at first. Well, that's how I am with most Zeppelin songs. They're an acquired taste for me. The Girl I Love, she got long, black, wavy hair. I do declare. Because it's me. I have long, black, wavy hair. Just not right now. For starters, I trimmed it earlier this month, so there's that. But my natural hair is just like 1970 Robert Plant, okay? But I straighten it almost like twice a week. I straighten it. But my natural hair is long, black, and wavy. It's like curly wavy, okay? And then since we're still on the Zeppelin phase, as I said, refer to my clip video I have on my channel if you must know my thoughts on Roberto Planta and Led Zeppelin. I'm still iffy about them, but I can't stop listening to them. He was just in Texas yesterday. He's in town, boys and girls. Well, he's in the state. He used to live here though, so. Also, since I've been loving you, I've been losing my worry mind. That one also it's growing on me. I like it now. At first I didn't like it. When he says little girl, I don't like it. Since we're on the topic of Zeppelin, I keep saying that. I've been watching, my favorite live performance from them is Seattle, 1977. It's so good. It's so good. So just that in its entirety.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
Since we mentioned Roberto, Can't Let Go is really good, but the live version with Alison Krauss, of course, the one at the Sound Emporium is so good.
He won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he pulls me out. Got a big chain.
Absolute jam. I love it. It makes you want to have a hoedown, you know. It's great. Another song I've had stuck in my head for quite a while is White Room by Cream.
In a white room with black curtains near the station.
And then lastly was Zeppelin, Nobody's Fault But Mine. I've had this beginning part stuck in my head where Robert goes like the guitar. I have that stuck in my head, but also may I add that I feel like nobody's fault but mine sounds just like Roundabout by Yes. I think of Arthur. But it reminds me of Roundabout. Maybe it's the bass. Also, I have stuck in my head because my mom was trying to figure out this song a couple days ago and then it just got stuck in my head. Who Can It Be Now by Men at Work. I thought that song was by Hall & Oates, so I could not figure it out for a while, but
I'll only run and hide. Who can it be now?
And then since I went back and listened to I was listening to Chili Peppers again, trying to give the album another go, Unlimited Love, that was not entirely loved by me, except White Braids and Pillow Chairs. That song is absolutely beautiful. I was listening back to them and they released a new song because apparently they're releasing a whole nother album this year. Also, editing me is interrupting right now to let you know that today Chili Peppers and Alter Bridge released new albums, so I'm quite overwhelmed. I took way too long to edit this podcast, so... Also, my favorite band of all time, 10 years, they're releasing a new single next week. Beyond stoked. They released a new song, the Chili Peppers, called Tip of My Tongue. I don't like the beginning part where Anthony just goes like, nah, 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 something like that. I don't like that part. But then right after Anthony is done with his little yapping, it's so good. It's literally classic Chili Peppers. It's like you've combined every single one of their songs from back in the day. Like, let's say all their singles. It's so good. So I very much appreciate the new single.
We've only just begun. Funky months are on the run.
Also, you know what I've been watching a lot? What's in My Bag? Those videos by Amoeba Music, which is a record store, vinyl store, CDs. They sell all types of entertainment, DVDs. They sell all that, and I absolutely love watching what people buy there. Like, even if I don't even know the artist, but just seeing what albums they pick up. Oh my goodness. The last one I just watched was Duran.
Now the time has come. The music's between us.
And it was so interesting because I kind of want to watch those movies now. Not the weird ones, but anyways, I've been watching those videos a lot. But if you made it this far, if you listened to this in its entirety, I appreciate it. It's a bit odd, story time, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing it. But thanks for watching, and as always, rock on!